Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Book Bites with When Girls Talk Books. I'm Susie.
I'm Kylie.
And today we are doing another author interview. So today we are interviewing Jessica Everly. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us and taking time out of your day to talk to us about this.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm very excited.
Yes.
So
I'm bouncing around like a puppy. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Jessica's book, Roses in Rome, recently came out. What was the publication date on that?
October 8th.
October 8th. And so we will be having a full-length episode. If you haven't watched it, you can go back and watch that and then watch the author interview if you would like. You can also purchase it. It is on Kindle Unlimited as well. That's where I read it. But you can also get the physical form on Amazon. Who's ready for some questions?
Me.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Yes,
Okay.
I'll start. Okay. It's a difficult question to ask, I guess. Do you have a favorite character or one that you connected with more than the others?
Oh, that is a difficult question. Well, Joey, I think you guys also really adored Joey in this book. He's a pretty great guy. I really liked him. And there are hints of my husband in him. So I'm going to have to go with Joey.
Okay.
I would say I relate to that on so many levels. Of course, you already know this, adored Joey. And I was so scared that he did something bad. But I see a lot of Justin, my husband, in him. And just the patience and the sweetness of him. Oh, I have to tell you, he probably top 5 book boyfriends. I adored him.
Yep.
Oh, that's
so
a great
good.
compliment.
He was so good. I read a lot.
Yeah, true.
And I was like, I love him. So what made you choose Rome specifically for kind of the setup on Sienna's healing arc? Why was it Rome that you decided that she would go to?
So Rome for me personally is a place that is special in my heart. It was the first place I'd ever traveled to outside of the United States. And I went on a class trip in high school, and that was the first stop. We did a whole tour of Europe, but we stopped in Rome first. And I just fell in love with the culture and the history. And you just, you're walking around the streets, and then there's this ancient ruin out of nowhere. It was just
So nice.
nothing like we have here in the United States. And so I fell in love with that city. And when I was writing the book, I pantsed it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that term, but it means, as a writer, some people like to plot. They like to decide what's going to happen from the beginning to the end. Other people pants it and they don't know what's going to happen. So I tried to I did pants this one. And the only things I knew about the book were the mom's name was going to be Catherine and the daughter's name was going to be Sienna. And maybe they would travel somewhere. And I thought, why not Italy? And that was all that I knew. And then as the story evolved, Rome was the place I wanted them to be because it held such a special place in my heart.
That's fair. You did a really good job describing. I will say, because I've I've just never been to Rome. And so I'm okay, reading, I'm let me see what that looks like. And it was described well, but I needed to get okay, what is this? So the cafe and the stairs and all that stuff, I looked all of that up. So I thought that was really cool that these were real places that you had put into there. I thought that was really nice.
I want to make it very clear that I loved everything about this book, especially the ending.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
All the tears.
It was
all the tears.
Oh, it was so good. Did you consider any other alternative endings before choosing this one, or was this the only one you wrote?
I wrote one other ending.
Okay.
And I considered another ending.
Oh yeah, I cried at the end of and it was just oh my gosh, I could feel it in my chest, everything, and I was oh my gosh. Which, as you know, I was very nervous throughout the book that something had happened, or for a minute there, I thought Joey had died, and I was I don't think I'm going to be able to get through this.
I kept being very nervous, and I do have another comment, not a question. You wrote it so perfectly with all of the conflicting feelings that a woman would be going through.
Oh, yeah.
Without it being
Perfect.
irritating. Without it being like, oh my God, girl. It just, no, it made so much sense every time. It was so valid. It was it was just so perfect.
I felt very sympathetic towards her.
Yes.
Which, like, this is just us complimenting you, but it was so well written where I agree. Like, I never felt annoyed about, like, oh my gosh, like,
Get
of
on
course
with
you're
it or
doing
anything
this,
like
or, like, it was so, like, okay, yeah, like, your life just fell apart. Of course you're not going to know what you're doing, or, like, even the point where she felt like he was moving on and she wasn't, and it was so, yeah. I have to tell you, this was a 5-star read for me. This was a 5-star read. Yeah, I know. Everyone's all, I'm a pretty harsh rater. This was a 5-star read. I like any book that'll make me cry. I'm like, that was good. But I ate everything about this up.
Oh, thank you.
Was there a real life person or experience that kind of inspired I would say, guru, the Father Fiore? Like all his wisdom and stuff like that?
You know, there wasn't any one person, but I'm a practicing Catholic, and I feel like a lot of times priests are portrayed as not what they really are, and they're kind of villainized. And I wanted to see someone that was like who priests are supposed to be, like a guidance, someone who accompanies you on a healing path and helps you grow closer to God, as opposed to, you know, whatever other people are writing in thrillers and that kind of thing. So
fair. I loved him. I was like, oh,
I did too. I loved him so much. I made sure to fan cast him. Like,
yeah, he was so sweet.
Who did you fan cast him? Who did you think of?
Eugene Levy from Schitt's Creek.
Oh, that would be so good. Oh, he would be so good.
Just while we're on the topic of fan cast, if you had to fan cast Joey and Sienna, who would you pick?
Okay, so I have thought about this a long time because throughout the entire process of writing the book, I have always thought Austin Butler for Joey. He plays Elvis. Wait, did you think of him too?
That's why I fan cast.
Oh, okay. So Austin, if you're free,
If you're free.
That's amazing.
You know, if you can fit time in your schedule, let us know.
If you could just like find a day.
He is who I thought of the entire time. I thought he'd look, that's just how he looks. Although an alternative, if Austin is not available, is the guy who plays Jeremiah in The Summer I Turned 20. I could think like he's younger,
eyes.
so you know, maybe he could be him. And then for Sienna, Lily Collins, do you know who she is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she has like the look, like kind of Italian sort of looking. I think she'd be good. But I'm curious, who'd you think?
I aged mine up a little bit. So I did Sam Claflin for Joey. Yeah,
I feel so like...
You do. It's Finnick from Hunger Games. He's also in Love, Rosie. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
Great choice. Love that. Okay.
So specifically, I went through a phase of watching Love, Rosie like every week. And in that movie, he's like a yearner. Like he's in love with Lily Collins. Actually, is who the girl is. It's so good. And I was just like, I adore him. And I adore Joey. So I was like, I think I'm going to go with that.
I'm going to go ahead and make it.
Yeah. And then for Sienna, I did Phoebe Tonkin. And she's in H2O, underwater. But she was also in Vampire Diaries and the originals. Nice. And she's been in a lot of that stuff. So I aged them up a little bit. But those were mine. Who was yours?
I had Minka Kelly.
Oh, yeah, that's good, too. Yeah.
I had just watched Ransom Canyon, so it was like in my head. It's
fresh in your head. Yeah.
What character was the most difficult for you to write or imagine?
You know, funny enough, Sienna was hard for me to really picture her when I was writing her. Like, I knew, like, almost like I was in her body, but I couldn't see her. Like, Joey I could see interacting with. But she was difficult to really figure out. It took a number of drafts for me to finally get in her head. And I think in part it's because her character is kind of, in the real world, kind of quieter, but sarcastic in her mind. Like, she's really kind of sarcastic and funny in her head. And we see that as the readers. But people on the outside don't ever really get to know her. I don't know if you noticed in the book, she doesn't really have any girlfriends that she's really close to. It's kind of just Joey and her little family. And so she was a little bit harder to get to know until, honestly, like maybe 4 or 5 drafts in. And then I was like, oh, this girl, she's been through so much.
I do think she's very complex. Like, she's in her head a lot, so that would make sense. Like, you're kind of 2 different sides of the coin here. What she presents in her head and what she presents to everybody else are pretty different.
Yeah.
Did you know the moment where Sienna and Joey would reconnect? Like, had you kind of, because you said you did it as it goes, was there a moment where you decided that they were going to reconnect, or did you kind of know that from the beginning, or?
So, like I said, when I just kind of pantsed it,
Yeah.
one of the alternative endings was that Joey wouldn't be there. And so
I need a minute.
and then I hired a developmental editor who helped me with the process of the story. And I was talking to her about it, and she's like, no, we have to have Joey. So then I kind of reworked everything to make sure that it all fit. But I wrote the last 2 chapters and then rewrote kind of the drama that happens before those 2 chapters. So one of the alternative ending that I wrote was there was kind of another woman. Like, there wasn't, but she was kind of like a client. She was a tennis player. And
She was a tennis player.
no, the tennis players.
Yeah.
So she was kind of like she was into him, and he was kind of like trying to please her because he's trying to get clients. And my editor was like, absolutely not. That's not Joey.
Fair.
But I do see, man, that would be good.
I would be
could
heartbroken.
Oh,
Yeah,
I would have been
that's all right.
so sad.
I like the way it ended up. So I ended up switching and making it more about Sienna and her career. And she really pushed him out as opposed to her leaving him because there potentially was someone else.
Yeah. And I thought that was well done because personally, I am that person where I kind of like shut down and I do push away, and I think you're very similar. So like for me, that felt like really nice to read, of like kind of a self-sabotage of she obviously know Joey loves her and would do anything for her, but like she just can't handle what's going on, and so she's shutting down and then lashing out on him. Relatable.
Have you thought about writing any more updates about Sienna's mom and her time choosing to stay in Rome, like a short story or anything like that?
No, but that's a great idea.
Please do it. Yeah, take it and run with it. I loved her character. It was really fun.
I would love to see her find a hot Italian man. Like, exactly like she said she was going to. Yes, I would love to see that.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'm definitely putting that on my short story list.
Yeah, but like it's one of the flower shop.
Yeah.
It's like one of those kids.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I think that would be good.
Or something.
Yeah.
Really complicated things.
Well, if you do, let us know.
Yeah,
I will.
I'll be very excited.
So it's no secret now, a lot of times a male lead in romance books are kind of like emotionally unavailable. They're pretty toxic, things like that. I feel like Joey was very grounded and very emotionally present. And I think that sets him apart a lot from a different romance where he's very present, but he's not boring, if that makes sense.
Yep.
While you were writing him, like, was he always gonna be like this kind of knight in shining armor?
This Connie baby.
Did you ever think of like kind of twisting it a little bit? Because his family is nice, but his dad's not the best. And I was kind of curious if that was ever gonna like seep into his personality. Did you ever kind of think about that, or was he always just gonna be wholesome?
I think I'd always imagined him as wholesome, with Sienna. And I think the character arc that I maybe could have gone more into with Joey was him overcoming his dad, kind of being like the controller of their family and of him and his career and all the things. So he kind of has a small character arc where he has to break away from that. Because he is kind of he's not an alpha. He is kind of a beta.
Yeah.
And, but in a way that's very respectful. So I feel like that worked with Sienna's character, who is very headstrong. But he had to learn to be really kind of break away and be strong on his own when it came to like his family and his dad and that sort of thing. But yeah, to answer your question, he was always kind of just like the good, give you the shirt off your back kind of guy.
Yeah.
Really sweet and yeah.
I loved him so much. I've never, I too have never found such a perfect, like, book boyfriend.
A perfect book boyfriend for me in real life.
Yeah.
For real life me,
Yep.
this is my husband.
Yep. We finally found one that's not a fairy king or a half dragon slayer or something, you know, like. Is there anything specific that you hope readers take away from this story? I know that's a very broad statement, but it seemed like forgiveness and second chances and stuff like that was a common theme.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely forgiveness. That's, I think, the biggest part of the book. And then just being able to kind of be with someone when they're going through something, if that makes sense. So I thought that we hadn't talked about her sister Grace, who was like really not there for her sister when she needed her, and then was able to redeem herself later on and really be there when she did need her in the end. And I think that we can be that way with some people. We get busy in our lives. We're not, you know, oh, I'm so sorry that's happening to you, but I got I don't know, a book fair to run.
The kids are vomiting everywhere. Yeah.
I'm busy or whatever. And then, you know, you kind of can leave, you don't understand maybe how that affects people or that not saying anything at all is also maybe not always the right thing to do. So I think that, you know, just recognizing when to be there for people and how to be there for them is also a takeaway from the book.
Yeah. I think I definitely, I related a lot to Grace in a way of,
I felt like that.
My life is so chaotic and I'm always on the go and I'm always on the move. And so, I took that away on a personal level of, what if I'm so busy, but then what if something really awful is happening and I can't take the time to do it because the kids are throwing up or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, I took that away in the book, as myself of, oh, okay. And it was kind of two sides of the same coin at the same time, because also Sienna didn't realize that, also Grace was struggling with a lot of things. And so I thought that was really well done. And it made you think about it for sure.
Good.
And then on the same note, also, Joey being I just wanted to be there for you and help you, and you wouldn't let me. So
I got
same
called
kind of
out
gist.
hard with that. And I thought, I need to start being nicer to my sweet husband.
To my sweet Joey.
Yeah.
Did you ever toy with the idea of Giuseppe being more of a serious romantic option?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Was that in the draft?
I really didn't know, was she who she was going to end up with?
I was so
Was
scared
Joey going to be there at the end?
I was stressed.
So yes, but I was I just love her and Joey together so much. I was they have to be together. I can't, but Giuseppe is so great. He's great in his own way, but he's going to find someone. He will.
Yeah. He was very much what could be. So what could this different future be? Yeah. And I was just kind of curious, when you were writing him, he very much has this healing energy around her. So how did you write that without making him seem like he was just going to be a rebound? Because I feel like that could have it could have went that way as well.
So easy.
But it didn't feel like that.
I think you nailed it when you said this was what could have been. Because, so Giuseppe in Italian is Joseph. And that's Joey. Oh. So,
oh my God.
So he was kind of her alternate reality. this could be your life too. And I wanted to make him different from Joey in that, you know, he was really into art. He was really into the things that she liked. And that was different than Joey because that was something that was a wedge between them. So I wanted to make him attractive to her in a way that Joey wasn't. And this is how your life could be if you stayed here in Rome.
Fair.
Perfect.
Yeah. I went about, you know, some ways through. I was like, I'm so sorry. I just love Joey. I don't, just let me get out of here.
Yep. Yep.
And then when they were dancing and then they kissed and she's like, I'm just not feeling it. I was like, oh, thank goodness. I was so worried. So
I acted like I was in it. I'm like, yeah, me too, girl. I ain't feeling shit.
I'm a big The Summer I Turned Pretty fan, so I very much felt like it was kind of similar to like Belly, and I did not want her to get with whatever his name was. I was like,
yes.
no, Conrad, go get your girl.
I kept waiting, like, till we get off the plane, just land, like, show up with the roses.
I wanted him to show up so bad. I wanted it, but I'm glad it ended the way it did because it had to be her choice.
Yes.
He can't keep chasing and trying and trying. It had to always be her choice.
It was perfection. The way that all ended. If you're not writing a book that's literally the perfect love story, what do you like to do?
Well, I have 3 kids, so a lot of my life is centered around what they're doing and that kind of thing. But my husband and I like to travel. We like to take off like once a year and go on a trip together.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And you know what? Something else that we also do that I feel like probably your readers will like is we try to read a book together once a year.
Stop it! That's so sweet.
Is his name Joey?
Well, it's not usually like a love story.
Yeah, fair.
But still, read a book together? Oh.
Yeah. So our most recent book was Shutter Island. Have you seen that movie or read the book?
Yeah.
Okay. So we hadn't seen the movie. So we read the book and I had all these theories that were wrong about what was going on. And so he like thought that was hilarious that I like wrote them down and put them in an envelope and sealed it. I was like, I know I'm so right. And you're going to know that I wasn't cheating and like reading ahead or saw the movie. And then we opened it up and they're all wrong.
That's a good idea to like write down what you think is going to happen, especially in something like that, like, which is just crazy.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm going to take that.
Yeah, we should make note of that.
Read a book together, any book that you both will enjoy. And it's a good way to talk about something else outside of, regular life.
That's just our relationship bonding.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do think it's important to talk about more of the heavier parts in the book because there are quite a lot. And I think a big part, well, I guess kind of, it is a big part of it, but it is kind of in the background, is kind of the generational grief of, everybody goes through something and kind of her connection with her grandma or her great grandma and how she had miscarried as well. Which scene of everything do you think was like the most emotional for you to write? Because I do feel like there is a lot.
Yes. The scene where she's in the hospital with Joey after she's just lost the baby. I cried like every single time I even read it. I would cry. That scene was really hard to write. I think I had to like take a day or 2 off of writing after I did that scene. And then where she's in the Pietà with her sister, that scene was hard to write and definitely made me cry. And actually, originally Father Fiore was there with her in that scene.
Okay.
And then I decided, no, this has to be Grace. It has to be her that's there. So I switched the characters in that scene. But both those were really hard for obvious reasons. It was hard to write those 2.
Yeah. I cried at the end. The end was what really got me with the adoption, and then they got pregnant, and I was just I cannot.
I was losing my mind.
And then how he brings roses now. Oh, I can't handle it. But when they're in the hospital, and he says, "It's okay, we'll have more babies," and she's like, "I don't want more babies. I wanted this baby." I'm sorry, what?
Cut the show.
This is literally how I felt. Oh, that was so good. That was so sad. It was so sad. So it was good, but it was sad. But the ending really got me. Did you ever think about, because I did like at the end that they did adopt. I thought that was very, like, made sense. Did you ever think to have her just not actually be able to ever have kids and they just went the adoption route?
I always thought that they would end up with one because, you hear that so often that, oh, we couldn't have kids forever and then we adopted and then we got pregnant.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a common thing that you hear. And I really love that. I think it's such a full family when you hear about that.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to have like the fullest family where they have someone that they brought into their family, someone who is, biologically theirs as well. And I really loved how that fit all together. And especially that it was a girl, because
I love that it was a girl.
It's not going to be a girl.
Yeah. I was
so happy. I'm like,
yeah, I just thought it was so sweet. It was so sweet. Oh, well, first, I guess I should ask, are you writing anything else at the moment?
Yes.
Are you
I
writing
am.
a sequel?
I am not going to do a sequel.
Okay.
Although, I've had a couple of people say, we need Bo's story. We want to hear Bo's story.
hot baseball player brothers, sweet. Yes, let's hear about it.
So I don't have plans for a sequel right now. But what I am working on is, so while I was waiting for developmental edits for this one, I wrote another book. And it's a first draft that's just really messy. So I'm going to start working on that one again. And then this fall, I was trying to get into that book and I just couldn't. So I was like, I'm going to write a rom-com. So I wrote one, but I was like, I don't know if I'm that funny. So I don't know if it will turn out or not. But I just finished that this week. So I have two
That's
books
exciting.
that I can see potential series with them both. But they'll be separate series. So they're both book one and two separate series. So I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, I'll read it, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. I was going to say, we want a little companion novel with Bo. I'd be into that. Because especially in the scene where he's at the house and Joey says, when he finds his person, everything will change. He won't let her go. And I'm like, give it to me now. Oh, goodness. You have a real life Joey. What parts of your spouse did you kind of pull from to make him this lovable character, which we adored?
That these two man haters find perfect.
Oh, yeah.
So
The biggest compliment of all.
So first, my husband and I met in Chicago. That's where we met each other and started our lives together. So Chicago was really special to me because a lot of the places they go were places that we would go, or we'd order pizza from Lou Malnati's or whatever. So if you're from Chicago or you're familiar with Chicago, you'll recognize the restaurants and the places. George Street Pub, where they have beers before they're going to do their marathon, was our favorite pub of all time. So I was like, I have to I don't even know if it's still open, but we had to put it in there.
That's neat.
So,
that's really cool.
So that's one thing. But my husband is a huge sports fan, and he was born in Chicago. And so he, it's always Sox versus Cubs, and he actually is a Sox fan.
That's funny.
I like that.
So the sports are definitely him. Alternatively, he is the Italian one, and his family is of Italian descent. So he's a lot like Sienna in that he's very blunt, very bold, very like that is him. And I'm kind of more the Joey where I'm like,
interesting.
Okay, honey.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, it was kind of like, I guess he was a mix of both, but definitely the sports, that's my husband. And the patience, like he is so patient with me.
Fair.
So yeah, that's also him too.
Okay. You need patience. You need patience.
Yeah, thank God Eric is a patient man.
And
mine too. Eats, sleeps, and breathes sports.
Yeah, mine's basketball.
I know like this much about sports. Someone was like, "Go sports!"
Literally, I do love the thing of like, he's like, "You're not actually a Sox fan, are you?" She's like,
"Yes."
What gave it away?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I have to say, I I don't understand. I was thinking about this when I was reading it. How did this not get picked up? Like, how did you have to self-publish?
Yeah,
like
respectfully, what are all these people thinking?
I thought that was crazy.
Well, I can kind of tell you guys a little bit about that journey, that part of it. So I sent my manuscript to 13 agents last fall, and one asked for the full manuscript. And she said, she passed on it, obviously. But what she said to me as feedback was the Italy stuff was too boring. She didn't think it was interesting enough. And the book that you guys read, though, is not the same book that I sent to her. So another agent had suggested I do developmental edits, which means that they help rework the story, make it more interesting, make it more page turning. And so then I did all of those changes, and then I sent it out to 50 agents, like total, including the other 13, and all of them passed. And so I just think it's really hard to break in, and especially a new author, it's really hard. And I had like no platform. It was like my personal Instagram with my kids. And so I had to make an Instagram with all my author stuff and, make myself more marketable that way, I guess.
They're lost. They're
I agree.
Lost. They're going to be kicking themselves.
Yeah. As I said, I read a lot of books, and I've read a lot of bad books. Like, I was like, how did this not get picked up? Like, it went quick. I loved it. I loved the characters. I enjoyed the Italy stuff. I really felt like in it, you would never
guess that you'd never written a book before. But
it was great. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I will say I had a lot of help from the editors. They really made it shine. I had line editor who just was like a friend of a friend who used to be an English teacher, and she just enjoyed doing it. She did it for me for free. She did my whole book for free. She's the most darling person. Her name's Nancy, and she has now she's started a business in it because she's good at it. Okay. But yeah, it was almost like once I decided to do the self-publishing route, all these people started to come together and like really make it work. And it's just been an amazing journey. So although, I mean, I would have loved to have had an agent in the traditional route and whatever, but the downside to that is it might not ever get published. Like, even if you get picked up, it may not ever get published. And I knew that when I had been rejected by all these agents, that my only other option was to write another book or to self-publish. And I was like, I just love this story so much. I don't want people to not know it. Yeah. And so I was like, my husband and I talked a lot about it. He was like, why don't you just self-publish? I was like, oh, because it's so easy. Sure.
Yeah, okay, honey.
It's like their other classic. Just don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I researched all of that. And then the good thing about it is you get control. So like the cover I got to help design, or I hired a designer to do it and got to pick the one I liked. I got to work with all the people I wanted to as far as editors go because I hired them. So anyway, so it was great. It was a great experience, really, being an independent. So I may try again in the future to do traditional. I'm open to it if it comes along. Gotcha. But yeah, the upside of self-publishing is your own boss, your own schedule, your own everything. And with a family, like, that's huge. So I love that.
Yeah.
Connor had a question.
Yes, Connor had a question.
My question was about the cover. Jennifer Stimpson designed it. Does Jessica know that person? How did that come about, the cover?
Do you know the person who made the cover?
So this was interesting. I was on Instagram and I saw a cover for another book that was just released, Chrissy McCauley. It's called Thinking About Forever was her book, and it's gorgeous. You'll have to look up the cover. It's so beautiful. And so I reached out to her. I was like, oh my gosh, I love your cover. Who designed it, if you don't mind me asking? And she gave me her contact information. The Design Maven, I think, is what her business is called. Okay. And so she designed she just, talked to me, worked through the cover. I gave her all the ideas, told her all about the book, and she came up with that cover.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. Put it back up here on the screen for everybody. It's really good. I loved it.
Alrighty. Well, I think that'll be it from us.
Yeah, I think that's all I asked you. Sorry. Yeah, I asked you a lot of questions. Thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to discuss this with us.
Yeah.
Thank you, you guys. I'm so thankful that you guys wanted me to come on here and talk about it and that you love the book. And
Yes,
oh my God,
like,
makes me so
genuinely.
happy.
I did read it on Goodreads. I gave you a 5-star, so it's official. It was on Goodreads.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that so
Awesome.
much.
Yeah. Alrighty, that'll be it from us, guys.
Yeah, make sure to like,
Subscribe,
share,
follow.
and also do the same for Jessica here so you can keep track on what she's going to work on next.
Yep. Okay.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.